Hello, hello. Welcome to the latest edition of Falcons in Focus. Today we are joined by the Falcons' first-round draft pick, Michael Penix Jr., and as always, Tori McElhaney, Terrin, Waack, and of course, Ticketmaster appreciation time. As the official ticket marketplace of the Atlanta Falcons and the NFL, Ticketmaster has a wide selection of tickets available for every game. Whether you're cheering on the Falcons at home or away, Ticketmaster has you covered. Download the Ticketmaster app or find tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Falcons. That's Ticketmaster.com/Falcons. Let's get to it.
Woo!
Well, welcome, first of all, to Atlanta. This is your first
appreciate
full
it.
day here.
I know it.
Who knows when this is going to drop, but it's your first full day here.
Yeah, we're recording this right before rookie minicamp starts. So technically you were in Atlanta, but not necessarily for a full day.
Yeah.
You were in and out really quickly.
In and out.
Pretty crazy day. Talked to a lot of people. It was busy.
Were you even here for 24 hours when you came after?
Just about, barely, yeah, barely.
They had
so maybe 23.
Full day.
Yeah,
Right,
maybe
yeah.
23 hours.
23. All right, we are going to start by going back to your childhood, though, because as we warned you, this is about getting to know you and not the present day. You are a coach's son, and your first steps were on a football field.
Not just a football field.
Into the end zone.
The
Like,
end
calm
zone.
down.
I talked to your
Calm
dad
down.
about that when y'all were here, and I was like, "Is this?" I read it somewhere, and I was like, "Is it true that his first steps were into an end zone?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, that's true." He was like, "I needed him to walk that day, so we walked into the end zone. It was great."
Yeah.
But for what Terrin's alluding to, your dad coached football, played football. Football always been a part of your life. What was it like, kind of growing up as a coach's kid? As a coach's kid myself, I know we're a very intriguing bunch. For you, being a part of football every day of your life, like what memories do you have of that time period?
I mean, it was good for me, you know, at a young age, you know, some things that my dad, he was teaching me that I probably didn't understand at the time, you know, how tough he was on me in different situations. Like my dad, he'll bench me if I'm not playing good. Like, so it wasn't like I was just on the field because I was his son. You know, I had to earn it. I had to work hard. You know, and you know, for me, I was trying to be the best player on the field. You know, so it was fun though. You know, he definitely pushed me. He brought out the best in me at a very young age. And you spoke about how my first steps was on the football field, in the end zone, and my dad said that I needed to walk that day, and that's kind of funny because that's how all my family is. That's like my whole family, you know. Like if it's something that they want the kids to do, like you gonna do it. So it's like, so whenever you said that, he was like, I'm gonna walk that day. Like it was funny because I remember like growing up. Like, my uncle used to have a pool, and all the family used to go and, like, they'd just throw the kids in the water and be like, you gonna swim today? Like, so you learn. So you learn real fast. So it's been good.
So good. Do you have, I mean, having been a part of the game and your dad having such a history, he was a running back, right?
Right.
When he was in his youth, not to date him or anything like that, but in his youth, what skill sets do you think transferred from your dad to you? Do you think? Have y'all ever talked about that?
Not much. You know, I feel like athleticism, you know, toughness. My mom, she was an athlete too. She ran track, so you know, I don't know who I got the speed from or who I got the running abilities from, but I'll say just. All my athletic abilities came from both of them, and my dad, I heard he had a lot of them. So,
Was not playing football ever an option?
No. No.
You're gonna play football, and you're gonna like it.
Yeah, it wasn't like that, you know, from my dad, but like from me, like that's how much I liked the game. That's how much I was around it. So it was like for me, like I knew I was gonna always play football. I played all the other sports too, but like I knew I was never gonna stop playing football.
Yeah, your dad said when I talked to him, he was like, yeah, he was born to love the game. That's essentially, he was like, we always felt that. Something that I found really interesting when I was having a conversation with your brother was y'all had a pretty big backyard in Dade City. And it was one of those things where every single family member that I talked to of yours was like, Michael always wanted to be outside. And it would like hurt him to his core if he couldn't go outside. What was so interesting too is your brother said that before he came along, and this is what he said. He was like, before he came along,
He's like, oh boy.
I know. Before he came along, you didn't really have anybody to throw to, so you threw to the family dog. Is that a correct story from your childhood? And once he did come along, how much did it help kind of having your brother there to to play catch with?
I mean, it's true. You know, I remember I used to play football with my dog in the house. Like, he'll chase me, I'll chase him, I'll tackle him like a dog at that. Like, I don't know. Like, that's who I was always with. You know, he was my first dog. And, you know, but whenever my brother, he started getting older, it's definitely better, you know, to have somebody that's
coordination better.
Yeah, you know. But like you
Communication.
said, I was always trying to do something. I was always trying to be outside and find ways to, you know, do something fun.
Yeah.
And that's what was fun to me, you know, being outside and playing sports. So, but yeah.
Being the dog person I am, I need to know what kind it was.
It was a Staffordshire Bull Terrier.
Okay.
Nice.
So now I was picturing Air Bud, actually. When you said he would tackle you and whatnot. I was like,
Nah.
real life Air Bud, let's go.
I don't think he ever really tackled me. I think I like fake getting tackled by him, but I'll tackle him. I remember tackling him though. Like, he'll take the ball and run away from me.
So good. Now, you can't tell your story without talking about Dade City. And in your Players Tribune article, you kind of talked about like adversity was in the water there. And I thought that was so eloquently put.
Yeah, as a writer, 10
Yeah.
out of 10, no notes.
Yeah, that was
For
so,
sure.
so good. But what was really interesting, you know, as much as Dade City is a part of your life in your childhood, it took you going to Tampa to really, truly step into the spotlight a little bit.
Right.
Your family talked a lot about that move from one place to the other and how important that move was and how essentially they did it for your career.
Right.
And at the time, you know, you're just a kid. You know, you're just a teenager. You're trying to figure things out for yourself. But there's like this ability and shine kind of within you. It just was a matter of other people seeing it. What do you remember about that time? And maybe even the sacrifices that your family made to put you in a position to essentially put you on a path to get to where you are now?
Right. I always mention that, you know, I appreciate my parents for the sacrifices they made for me, you know, and, you know, it's true. Like, I feel like if I didn't get out of Dade City, I probably wouldn't be right here right now, you know, but, you know, I feel like everything happened for a reason, you know, that's why, you know, I had two younger brothers in the house. One of my cousins, she stayed with me as well, you know, so it's like, they had to move because of me, you know, so it's like, you know, they lost friends or they disconnected from friends and stuff like that, but they always supported me and I was always there for me. So, you know, I'm just truly blessed to have a family with that support and, you know, that wants to see me and my brother succeed, you know, but it was tough for me too. You know, I had a lot of friends back in Dade City, you know, that I had to leave and, you know, I don't really have as close of relationships with now, you know, but, you know, but I mean, if it wasn't for it, I don't feel like I'd be here today, so I'm blessed for it. So.
Yeah.
Do you think you understood the magnitude of that decision at the time?
No, I didn't.
Because, I mean, again, you're
I
a
really
teenager.
didn't.
Right, yeah.
I wouldn't have.
The only thing I really thought about was, you know, because of the offense we were running like the wing T offense in Dade City with that team, you know, and for me, I was like, okay, let's just move to another school close by, you know, but we ended up going the next city away, so I was like, I didn't understand that at first, you know, but, you know, once I got there, it was like the competition level was better, you know, coaching was a little bit better, you know, it was just a lot of different things that helped me, you know, improve as a player, you know, so I kind of realized it towards the end of my high school career. So, yeah.
That's a lot to put on a kid, but, like, when you say, like, hindsight 2020, it's just, if you hadn't done that, like you said, you wouldn't probably be here.
Right.
Did your siblings ever, like, how did you feel knowing that you were uprooting their life too, especially being younger?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't thinking about it at that age,
Okay.
you know, but they, I mean,
there are literally no
yeah,
complaints
so
now, right?
it's-
Right, no, that's the
yeah,
That's
thing.
what
but
matters. It's amazing how one decision can shape multiple lives so many different ways.
That's true, you know, but even like my little brother as well, you know, I feel like moving, like him being out in Tampa playing there, he had opportunity to go to college as well, and my younger brother, I know he will too later on, so it's like, I mean, eventually it's helping all of us, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, your mom made the comment. She's like, I asked her, she's like, you know, at the time it was really hard. It was really difficult. But she was like, but looking back on it now, like I'd make that decision every single time because you do what you got to do to put yourself and put your children in the best position for them.
Right.
And that was something that I thought was very well said on her part for sure. Because at the time, she was like, at the time, not a lot of people were doing that. But now it's become more of a commonplace to make that move. But let's fast forward.
Pick it up.
Right, yeah. Let's have
to address it, but because it's just so fascinating.
Yeah, it was such a big part of like the conversations that I had with your parents too about how important that time period was for you and for them.
Right.
But let's go to your college days. Let's go to Indiana. I know obviously like things weren't always easy.
I said pick it up at the wrong time.
I know,
we
yeah.
had to discuss Indiana.
Right. I mean, things weren't always easy, but what did you learn about yourself during your years at Indiana?
I feel like I learned, I don't know. So like growing up, I just remember like my dad, he used to always be like, you tough, like you got to be tough. Like that's something that he always said. And then growing up, it was like, you never quit anything. Like if you start something, you're going to finish it. So like those two things always was in my head, you know, going throughout my whole career, you know, even to now. You know, so it was like whenever I was facing those hard times and throughout the injuries and stuff like that, you know, that always replayed in my head. You know, I knew I was tough. I knew I can get through any obstacle, and you know, I knew I wasn't gonna quit. You know, so you know, for me to have that, and then also just my two younger brothers as my why. You know, the reason that I do everything. You know, knowing that they're looking up to me in those hard times, like, and seeing their brother, you know, come out on top. You know, and continue to do good things each and every time, you know, that I feel like that showed them a lot of things too. So, you know, I wasn't just doing it for myself, you know, and that's what I feel like helped me get over, you know, the hump of those hard, tough days, just knowing that I wasn't doing it for myself, you know, I was doing it for a bigger purpose and people around me. So
there was a quote, and it really stuck out to me. It was about like your injuries at the time, and you said there were times when I'd wake up the day of the game, and I'd wait until my roommate leaves, and I'd just lie on the floor and I'd just cry to God, praying that he'd protect me that day. I knew where my head was at the time. How tough did those moments get? Because that quote just shows it was a struggle. Yeah,
and how much like
especially
the game mattered.
Days. Yeah.
What
was that like? Pulling yourself out of those funk moments.
It was hard. It was real hard. I don't know.
And as you said, like, was it your brothers and knowing like your dad's phrase of push through tough times?
I mean, at that time it was tough because I always, like growing up, I was always going to church. You know, I believed in God, and you know, but I feel like at that point in time of my life, I was questioning some of the things that he was doing in my life. You know, because I didn't understand, I didn't see it right now or right in that moment, you know, but like I had other like different scriptures that helped me, you know, get through those times. Jeremiah 29:11, that's my favorite script, my favorite verse. You know, I tatted it on me, so it's like, you know, different things like that, you know. But I feel like for me it was tough because, you know, me knowing that I believe in God, you know, my dad, he used to always tell us never question God, you know, never question what he's doing, you know, because, you know, he has a plan for you. You know, and at that time I was, you know, even though I was crying myself, I was like crying before the games, like, you know, just trying my best to trust and just believe that everything was going to be okay. But deep down inside, you know, I wasn't confident, you know, and that was the hardest part about it, because deep down inside, I always felt like I was just scared for it to happen again, you know, even though I was praying and I was saying I believed and, you know, wanted to and feel that, you know, it was still tough because when I was stepping on the field, I was like just nervous that it was going to be my last time on the field again. So it was tough. But
when do you feel like you got the confidence back? Like at what point do you look back on your story and it was almost like maybe not even a flip switch, because I feel like sometimes gaining confidence back can be more of a gradual thing.
The dimmer went up.
Right, yeah. But is there kind of a point in time where you look back and you're like, that's when things shifted?
I'll say like right before fall camp in 2022 when I got to Washington.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like that because, you know, since college, I enrolled early in college, so I was there in January. I did spring my first year before I was technically a freshman. You know, so I had an off season then, you know, and I felt really good. And then ever since then, I never had another off season, you know, throughout my career until 2022 season when I transferred to Washington. So after that off season, you know, I felt strong again. I felt good, you know, and you know I haven't felt like that going into fall camp since I first got to college. So once I was feeling that, you know, I felt good. I was like, okay, it's go time. You know, I was ready to go. So
at that time, there's a quote where you said that when you went to Washington, your mind and body was healed.
Mm-hmm.
When you kind of think back to that time, what was it about Washington, whether it be your teammates, whether it be your coaches, whether it just be the growth that you experienced and the maturity that you experienced through what you had to go through at Indiana, what helped that healing process for you?
And
maybe it's a little bit of all of it.
It was the off season.
Yeah,
I really feel like it was the off season. You know, because like I was able to get that confidence back in the off season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because like if you think about it, like if you go into each year, like I was not cleared in fall camp for 4 years straight.
Yeah.
At the beginning of fall camp, which is a month before the first game, I was not cleared for 4 years straight.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, think about it. All summer, I can't do certain things with the team. I can't do certain lifts. I can't do certain things. So like, I feel weak as I'm still trying to get stronger, trying to get back, you know. But I'm still not even clear a month before the first game. So it's like I'm playing catch up the whole time, and it's like I never really got to that point where, you know, I felt okay. I feel good. I feel strong. Like It's like, okay, I'm coming off ACL injury, but I'm not cleared until a week before the game. So it's like I feel that, you know, I can feel that, you know, it's not as confident to plan on that leg. I'm not as confident to do certain things. So it's like, it was tough for me, you know, to be able to go out and play and put on, you know, the performance that I wanted to put on because I was weak. I was weak. So
were there nerves that first season at Washington, or was it kind of like once you got that off season and that fall camp and were healthy, you were just ready to go?
I was ready. I never been nervous. I never been nervous, you know, but I was just ready to go. Yeah, I felt good, and I was like, it was just go time. So
how much fun did you have just being back out there and doing what you knew you were capable of?
Yeah, it was real fun, you know, and obviously winning football games is fun.
It helps.
You know, yeah, but you know, but it was what I've been missing, you know. So, and I was, you know, just blessed to be able to be back in that headspace, back in that, you know, that mode again, you know, because it took a while for me to get back there, you know. But, you know, I feel like everything I've been through, it helped shape me into the person and player I am today. You know, I always say that, you know, and, you know, but I'm just blessed for the opportunity to be able to be sitting right here, you know, today, you know, because I feel like a lot of that stuff helped me, you know, prepare for, you know, what's to come, you know, and I feel like I'll be ready for anything that comes my way.
It's fun because, you know, we can sit here and talk about, like, that Washington team over the last couple of years, like, all day long. But you were in it. You were in it with these guys. And I think from the outside looking in, for me personally, watching y'all play, it felt like y'all had so many intangibles that, to a certain extent, separated you guys from your competition at times. What was it about the team around you that truly put y'all on the path to success that y'all saw in a time where, you know, the University of Washington reaches heights as a football program that, you know, haven't really seen before?
So when I first got there, I kind of noticed, you know, that we had something special. You know, I feel like, so like going into it, when I first got to Washington, it was a 4-8 team before I got there.
Right.
But whenever we was in workouts and going through all the offseason stuff, it didn't feel like a 4-8 team. It felt like a team that was ready to compete for playoffs, championships. So it was like, I was like, whenever I got there, I'm like seeing the work that the guys were putting in. I'm like, okay, this team, they're all in. You know, it's a group of guys that's ready to do great things. You know, so it felt good to see that. So I feel like that is part of it. You know, just everybody being all in. You know, adjusting to the new coaching staff. You know, listening and you know, taking on all the challenges, you know, head first, you know, that the coaching staff had presented to us. You know, I feel like everybody went about their business in a professional manner. And then also I feel like the team we had, we're just close, you know, just we were hanging out outside of the building, you know, not just in practice. You know, you got guys, you know, going bowling, you got guys going fishing, golfing, like just all types of things that guys are doing away from the facilities, you know, just bringing everybody together. You know, I feel like we were so close-knit that, you know, it was, like when we stepped out on the field, you know, we were going to war for each other. You know, we were going to lay it all on the line because we knew the person next to us was going to do the same, you know. So I feel like that's what helped us a lot too.
Y'all had the chance to experience almost everything that a college football team could experience together, especially this past year.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything that kind of caught you by surprise that was a very special moment that looking back you're like, that's something I'll never forget?
I won't say nothing caught me by surprise.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like everything that we accomplished, we saw it coming, you know, but I don't know if I'll say anything took me by surprise, really.
Right. Anything special from that time that you, like, is it just kind of one of those stories that you'll kind of look back on and be like, I'll remember that?
I don't know. Like, we just had so many moments.
Yeah.
It's hard.
The fishing.
Yeah, the fishing, the golfing, all that kind of stuff. No, I get it. It's like everything just kind of all encompasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go back to college.
Oh, man.
Clearly, we already know so much about you because your story's been told. You've told your story.
Yeah.
Is there anything that people don't know, or is there anything that you want people to know about you?
I like to show people.
Ooh, look at that.
I just like to show people. I just like to show people.
Yeah.
That's a mic drop.
Yeah, show, don't tell. I love that. I think that's a great note. Should we go into...
Too bad we can't end there.
I know, that was so good. I could just be like, all right, and thank you for joining us. No, we have one more segment on the show, and then we'll let you go.
We do it with everyone. It's just like 5 rapid-fire questions, and they should be easy.
We'll see.
He's like, oh, no.
No, these are fun.
He's trying to look.
All right. What is your favorite play of your career? And this can be high school, it can be college,
it could be favorite dog.
Favorite play, bringing it back full circle.
My favorite play of my career.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say against Oregon. 2022, the whole shot to Taj Davis.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite.
I like it.
Just the point of the game. The drive before I made a bad decision in the red zone, threw a pick, came back, you know, made a good play. We got the go-ahead touchdown and ended up winning. So
resilience
at
its finest.
We love that.
Okay. Favorite player of any sport growing up?
Favorite player, Mike Vick.
Yep. You had his cleats, right?
Favorite, yeah.
Yeah. Because I think there was a picture of you that I saw. What?
Were they worn?
No, like he had the Michael Vick cleats. Yeah. Okay. Like he had a cleat.
Oh, no, not his. They were.
As a 7-year-old.
Flop around.
No.
Like Mike.
All right.
That was basketball, actually. Never mind.
I know, yeah. Okay. We're moving past it. We're moving right along. TV show or movie that you would recommend to the people listening? I know things are busy right now, so you may not have a ton of TV time. But if you could recommend something.
TV show or movie?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say a good one. Okay. I'll say Ozark.
Ozark, that's a good one. Yeah.
I'll say Ozark.
Yeah. I don't think we've had someone recommend Ozark, but it's good.
What have you heard so far?
Gosh, we've heard... I don't even know. We've heard so many different ones. A lot of movies. Empire was a big one for some guys. Entourage was a good one for some guys. What was the one that... Yeah.
Someone was like, oh, I can't think of it. It's not PG.
Oh, yeah. Tyler Algier also was recommending, like, anime. So
I don't watch the anime. I can't do the anime.
Not on the anime train. I also am not. I'm sorry, Tyler, if you're listening.
I can't do it.
Yeah, we've gotten a big range. Some people said reality TV.
Yeah.
So Don't worry. Ozark is one of the
Ozark's
more
a good
quality
one.
picks.
I
Yeah.
can't do reality TV either. It's too like,
It's too cringy.
yeah, like it
The
ain't
cringier
real.
the better.
It's not
Please
real.
don't break my
though.
heart. It's reality TV for a reason.
But it's not real. That's the crazy thing about it.
He's like, it's scripted.
It's scripted.
No, I refuse
And if
to
it's not,
believe.
some of them people weird.
I do not want to be friends with those people. Okay, Terrin.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
Teleportation.
Yep.
Yes.
The number one answer on this podcast.
Especially because we're in Atlanta.
Yep.
Yeah.
with traffic. You'll get to know real soon.
No, I'm not going down that way.
He's like, I'm living out here in Flowery. All right. So that brings us to the very last one. Obviously, moving to Atlanta or the greater Atlanta area or, Flowery Branch, Buford, all the way out here. What is something that you're most looking forward to about moving to Atlanta? Because, Tampa
Finding
boy.
a house.
What, really?
I'm looking forward to finding and buying a house.
That's fun.
Do you have like something you require that is in this house?
Yeah, what's the non-negotiable for the home of Michael Penix Jr.?
A pool. I
Yeah.
want a pool.
Especially in these summers.
Yeah, I want a pool.
I mean, he dealt with Florida summers. What am I
Yeah.
saying?
I know. I was about
Never
to be like,
mind.
he hasn't been in Washington for that long.
Yeah, I want a pool though.
Nice. I love it. I hope you find it.
I hope so too.
Or build it.
Or build it.
Or
That
build
too.
it. Because one of the places I saw they didn't have a pool that I liked. I liked the place, but they didn't have a pool. So I was like,
Did it have a space for a pool?
it has space.
Okay.
So possibly, I don't know.
Well, TBD. We'll have you back on the podcast. You can update us on the pool parties, all that kind of stuff.
You
Oh,
know,
no.
there is a reality TV
No
show
party.
called House Hunters.
For real.
Yes.
On
I love House
HGTV.
Hunters. That
See,
one's realistic.
See, if it's something like that, I understand. But like, I don't want to trash any of the shows.
You're not gonna.
My girlfriend watches
The Bachelor.
stuff like that.
Okay.
Like
He's
the
really not gonna
love
name 'em.
shows.
Yeah, Love is Blind, Love
Yeah,
Island.
I don't think a lot of that stuff is cringe.
I mean,
The cringier the better.
I love it, but I also am the type of person that I'm like holding a pillow in front of my face, like I can't watch it.
Yeah, nah, some of it's crazy. I just hear that just going on in the background. I'm like,
You're like,
gotta
I'll
go.
pass.
Yeah.
Please put the subtitles on and mute.
Yeah.
Oh man, well this is a fun conversation, and we know you got a busy day ahead, busy weekend ahead. So thank you so much for chatting with us.
Thank you
course,
for
appreciate
joining Falcons in Focus.
Mm-hmm.
Which, speaking of, everyone should like and subscribe on all podcast platforms that you can find the Atlanta Falcons Podcast Network. Spotify, YouTube, Apple.
Yep.
I think those are the big three.
Those are the big three. Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Love it.
Thank you for joining us.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.